Okay, let's get straight to it. Monday, May 12th, 2025.
Yeah.
I mean, what a day for active traders, right? Just a massive surge in the U.S. stock market.
Absolutely huge. You really felt that momentum.
So we're diving into Grok Trade's stock market summary today. Our mission really is to unpack what went down and, maybe more importantly, what it signals for you for your trades, your investments, across the S&P, Dow, NASDAQ, Russell.
All the big ones. And yeah, the scale was really something. Grok Trade reported the S&P 500, the SPY, up 3.3%.
Wow.
The Dow, DIA, up 2.86%. NASDAQ, QQQ, jumped a full 4%. And even the Russell 2000 IWM climbed 3.52%.
So really broad strength then, not just one sector.
Exactly. That broadness suggests a pretty strong shift in sentiment. Active traders, they'll be watching closely to see if this holds.
And speaking of watching closely the charts, here's a key thing Grok Trade flagged. SPY, DIA, and QQQ all closed above their 200-day moving averages, okay? I'll break that down. For someone actively managing positions, why is that important?
Right. So think of that 200-day average, like the average price over roughly the last year. It's a big long-term trend indicator.
Okay.
Closing above it. Well, it can suggest a shift. Maybe we're moving out of a longer-term downtrend into something more bullish, more buyer stepping in.
So a potential signal for considering longs, maybe?
Potentially, yeah. For active traders, it's often seen as a bullish signal, especially if, other indicators confirm it. It suggests the overall bias might be shifting upwards.
Got it. And Grok Trade also mentioned a significant gap up at the open, plus sustained buying pressure all day.
Yeah.
What does that signal for, say, day traders?
Well, that gap up where the market opens way higher than the previous close, that often comes on big news. It creates instant upward momentum.
Right.
Day traders might see chances for quick profits there, chasing that initial surge. But there's always the risk, too. Sometimes prices pull back later to fill the gap, as they say. Need to be careful.
Makes sense. So what was the big news? What actually ignited this buying frenzy? Grok Trade's desk pointed to U.S.-China trade optimism.
Yeah, that seems to be the main driver. The market reacted very positively to reports about a possible deal, specifically a temporary cut in tariffs on both sides.
Temporary, okay.
For 90 days, the report suggested. But even temporary relief eases those big worries about trade tensions escalating, which have been, hanging over the market.
And for active investors, that could mean what? Sector rotation?
Could be. You might see money flowing back into stocks that were hit hard by tariffs before. It definitely shakes things up.
And it wasn't just the trade news boosting things, was it? The economy played a part too.
That's right. Grok Trade also flagged stronger than expected economic numbers. Specifically, they mentioned robust service sector activity.
Oh, okay.
So you've got this underlying economic strength kind of meeting the optimism about the trade deal. That's a powerful mix for the bulls. Lots of confidence coming back in.
Still, Grok Trade did add a note of caution, didn't they? About the long-term picture.
They did. They reminded us that, the long-term uncertainties around trade policy haven't vanished. This might just be a temporary fix.
So, good news now, but maybe not the final chapter.
Exactly. Active traders might focus on the short-term momentum, absolutely. But if you have a longer investment horizon, you need to think about whether this signals a real lasting change or just a short pause in tensions. That affects the bigger strategy.
Right. Okay, let's switch assets for a second. While stocks soared, Grok Trade's crypto desk saw Bitcoin, PTC, actually fall, down 1.79%. That's quite a contrast.
It is interesting, yeah. And what makes it even more interesting is that Grok Trade also pointed out Bitcoin had just recently broken above a key resistance trend line.
Oh, so technically that looked bullish.
You'd typically think so, yeah. A breakout often suggests more upside. But then it dipped. So clearly other factors are involved.
Like what?
Well, Grok Trade's take is that we might be seeing some consolidation. Investors may be taking a pause, assessing the huge moves in stocks, the broader picture. But even with that dip, the earlier breakout, that's still technically important for crypto traders to watch. It might just be a pause before the next move.
Got it. Different dynamics at play. Now, Grok Trade also gives a nod to their trading mentorship program. For listeners who are actively trading these kinds of markets and want to sharpen their skills, what's the idea there?
Well, for active traders navigating this kind of volatility, a program focused on, like Grok Trade describes, evidence-based strategies, technical analysis, risk management, that can be really valuable. It's about building a solid framework, a plan, and managing your risk effectively. Crucial stuff.
Crucial indeed. Okay, so let's quickly wrap the key takeaways for active investors and traders listening. A really strong bullish day for U.S. stocks Monday,
Yep, fueled by that trade deal optimism and solid economic data.
and technically significant,
Oh,
with
yeah.
key indices closing above their 200-day averages.
Right. But Bitcoin told a different story, dipping despite a recent technical breakout. Consolidation seems likely there.
Okay, so let's leave you with this thought to chew on. Given this really strong reaction in stock to trade news that might just be temporary, how are you adjusting your short-term trading approach right now?
And considering Bitcoin's different path, what role are alternative assets like crypto playing in your overall trading portfolio and risk management at this moment? Something to think about.